Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan, and thank you for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for the rest of the month of July. And we've got a big low coming in for next week. But before it arrives, high pressure crossing over the North Island, and that's encouraging this warmer, windier nor'wester that is moving up New Zealand. So warmer weather for the southern part of the South Island, eastern areas, and then that will spread up into the North Island as the high drifts further out to the east. Got a low up here to the north near Tonga. That is not a problem for New Zealand. This is the main feature, this southerly that is just starting here in Australia as we go into Friday afternoon and evening. So temperatures on Saturday, not too bad around the country. Look at this. Parts of Canterbury up to 16 degrees, might even go above that. And so warmer in the South Island than it is around places like Auckland, Waikato and Bay of Plenty. Even right down and around coastal parts of Southland are pretty mild. So we'll be seeing 14s and 15s around Otago, Southland, and 16s or 17s coming in to parts of Canterbury. Let's have a look at the forecast. This is how it is shaping up. The high is out over the Chatham Islands. Could be foggy areas around the North Island because of the lighter winds there, but further down the country, the nor'westers are blowing, so it won't be foggy. Bit of rain on the west coast, not very much the further north you go, and it's dry basically everywhere else. There might be an isolated shower somewhere around the North Island. By Sunday, the high is pretty much in the same spot, but the nor'westers move a little bit further up the island. Still fairly calm though, so there may still be some fog patches around Waikato, Rotorua, those sort of places as you wake up on Sunday. But that nor'wester should kick in, and it's going to be a warm day for those in the north. But now you can see what is building. This big southerly coming into Australia is going to help form this low pressure zone. So as we go into next week, we've been talking about this colder airflow coming in, but I said the other day, this is the high responsible for it, can go all the way down off the screen, dredge up that colder airflow, but it's sending this ridge of high pressure further out, south of the country, and then that's sort of helping shut it down a wee bit. So now all eyes are on this low. Very cold airflow around the northern edge of this high pressure system because it's being dredged up from the Southern Ocean area and then comes on in to Australia. But it gets messed up into this low, mixed into it. So this rain will start to fall as snow in the mountains and ranges. And by Tuesday, that colder airflow coming up to the Chatham Islands and feeding in to the southern portion of this large low. But the northern edge, look at this, the airflow is coming from the subtropics. So subantarctic here, subtropical here, and the two are meeting over the country. That brings in a fair amount of rain. The North Island should be seeing some rain in that mix. And the good news is Canterbury is going to get some rain. At this stage, the snow level has been lifting up as we've gone through the few days of this week, tracking what is likely to happen next week. So we do expect some snow on the mountains, the hills, the ranges, maybe out around Banks Peninsula, but getting down to low levels, there is still a question mark on that. And so you can see here on Wednesday, there is the cold part where that subtropical airflow coming in, packed with moisture, meets the colder airflow coming out of the Southern Ocean, and the two meet here, producing rain and snow higher up. This forecast is likely to change a wee bit over the coming days because of this being such a large area of low pressure, and the high down here and the high to the northeast are all kind of controlling it and shaping it. So I would expect to see this forecast chopping and changing a wee bit, as we saw the other month when we had a very large low. You can have these sort of areas where it's dry, it's calm, there's not much going on, not a lot happening around some parts of the country, and then all of a sudden you could get a really heavy downpour that just sort of formed out of nothing. So we are expecting some interesting weather next week, but for now, we're still sort of trying to lock in the snow. So we'll be talking about that over the weekend in our newsfeed at Weather Watch. If anything does change, that's where we'll update you. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.